Test audio. How are we? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I need to know this. Are we online? Guys, can you hear me? Come on. Anyone? So just write it on chat so you get used to the software. Find the chat box and write anything there. Just go because you like, yeah. Very good. You see, this is good software actually. The Zoom. We can all share cameras. Has good servers, so we can then use them. And for now, I think we have about 100 people limit. So we're good here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Perfect. The smaller the better, because it's mostly for people from the conference, from the 7th specialist M1 conference. And by the way, there is going to be an 8th specialist M1 conference on InvestCuffs in Traders House. So we're gonna run 1 or 2 evening events over there, going through timing solution. I'm not sure if you're aware of this software, but this is what Larry Williams is using. It is using artificial intelligence to look for patterns, for cycles. It's quite interesting, actually. And I will expect in the future for a more cooperative format for these meetings. Since I'm just keeping my promise, and I promise to guide you guys by the hand through the equity swings that we're planning. And the developments are quite not just unexpected, but as you see, it's a tough trading environment in a way that the risk event that we have with coronavirus and all. So I'd like it to be a bit of a freestyle type of enterprise where we can all prepare, where you guys can see how I do it, what I'm thinking, and obviously it's not going to be everything because it's the logical analysis part that is the key. And this is why we have these PAMs. So the percentage allocated money management structure that we've been developing with Centrum, it's going live this week. So we're going to be, I got all your messages, it's fine. And we just plug them in and take it step by step. So I actually plan to trade some of these live. And I'm actually designing a percentage split structure between the strategies. Because over the last few weeks, let's say, we are flat on wallets. Like we are not participating in any of the drawdowns. In fact, the currency picture is not ideal. So we're trying, we are attempting, we're getting break evens, and that this is just the macro score. that we use from COTRT. So we know more or less what the macroeconomic score is, but the risk event is overriding the macro, I think. So let's just have a look at it. I know the equity is pulling back a little, but it's actually taken, well, let's say it's flat as well. But we had a good run on all these little upswings. We actually made good money. So obviously, we look at cycles on equity of the overall portfolio management, but then we go into the micromanagement structure when we use our software and our know-how to lose the minimum when needed and hold when we ride. In fact, there's one really good trade, which was the euro-dollar long, where we're actually helping some guys from Malaysia to raise their accounts, and we missed that as well, and our wallets. So we missed that trade here, but we called it right. So not stressing about it too much. It doesn't seem like the picture is changing, but there is a concept which Kenny, a friend of mine here, that Kenny Simon. I'm actually signed as Kenny Simon. I think I can change it, but yeah, easily. See, this is cool software, and it's done. So Kenny asked me over the weekend if we are going into a recession. And I started reading this post from Investio and all the other guys that are calling for a recession in the United States. And I asked Kenny if, and he was referring to the Australian dollar. And I was asking him if it's a recession in the United States or is it a recession in Australia? And he said it's in Australia. So obviously the forest fires, the whole Corona thing affects these countries over there in a larger way. So we have a very good way of judging the macroeconomic situation in the United States. And I believe that we can apply this know-how, pretty much what I showed you in FX Caps 2019, even the readings that we've done during our last conference. These can be used on a smaller scale for the individual countries as well. So I will look for data sources to look for anomalies for certain types of countries so we can get in line with the general macro score data that we get from COTRT and more. So these concepts, as we speak, are developing, and they're developing by our experience. They're developing through our know-how of what can be used in what way, and this is the money manager's role. So this is going to be my role over the next few years. We're developing this into a proper size hedge fund because these strategies can take huge money. We're talking millions, tens of millions, not a problem, because it's not a scalping strategy. It's a midterm strategy. So we can then judge how the COTRT engine is performing against our independent analysis, and possibly in the future tailor it so the machines can calculate it for us as well. I'm telling you this so that you start getting some ideas of how I think, maybe build some trust into the development process and the logical analysis process, because it is very important. So we know that we're onto something, but let's start from the beginning. I'm going to show you, because these are going to be freestyle presentations. In fact, we are going to launch a cyber office series where we are going to trade some of these strategies live as well. So you're going to see my base account. For the start, especially in the first week, 2 weeks, is going to be between $10,000 and $20,000. But after a few weeks, I believe we're going to make a few changes. Confirmation, so the size is going to be small as well. We just like to get ahead on a percentage basis, and we're going to up it to about 100,000. So obviously, I will need to focus at that stage on execution, and I will then delegate a role of a commentator to somebody else. So I'll be trading, but somebody else will do the talking. Because we have had experiences in the past where I was doing the talking and the trading suffered. And this is getting so big that we cannot afford this. So I'm just telling you this so you are prepared. We don't have to do this. It's a free webinar, but we kind of enjoy the drill. So this is how we start. We have our group here, M1 Trading Office, and I posted this today. That I am getting multiple questions about the macroeconomic situation in the United States, and there's blah, 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 right? I've done the research. There's absolutely no confirmation yet of that scenario is to be confirmed. So there's no macroeconomic data that suggests a start of a bear market. And by a bear market, we mean recession in the United States. So lower consumer spending, lower corporate profit expectations, lower stock prices and all that for midterm. This is very important because we are personally hunting these upswings on American indices, more than likely around mid-March. Could be even from the beginning of this week. We'll see. In fact, I was considering changing the date of this presentation to tomorrow so you can see how the markets open. So pay attention. This is our room. This is Centrum just bought it for us. So we can use it anytime you want. If there's unexpected, there's a lot that's going to happen with it. But what I'd like to see is the Japan or Asian, European, and American sessions pass. So let all these three markets wake up, see how they react to them, and if we start to see any positive signals on the S&P, on Dow Jones, or most preferably Nasdaq, because I believe technology stocks are likely to lead the way, we will start hunting and trading these scenarios live. So not only are you going to be able to see my account trading it live, but you will also know that your account are being copied with it. So this will build a degree of trust for later on between us. So to come back to the point, and I'm going to go through the data in a moment. We are still hunting these upswings. The data seems to be confirming it. And as you will see in a moment, there is some dangers, or there are some dangers technically. So this is our webinar, and I'll start with the dangers. So if you want to trade it yourself, I recommend you do it obviously with CM, because this is our best broker. They want your money, they want you to trade with them, they want the volumes, whatever. They're ready for it. We worked on the engine, but the VIX is very high. And I will show it to you on COTRT. So when I do my research, I'm just checking what's happening, right? So if somebody tells me there is a recession or so, okay, so we checked the general macroeconomic data last week. Hasn't changed much. If you want to check it, sure. We actually had a decent reading on the unemployment rate. Sorry, this is Canadian. This is not what we're looking for here. So any economic calendar will do. Here we have a graph. So what I was afraid of last week is that the data is going to be bad. That means that unemployment rate will go up. And obviously the sentiment, consumer sentiment follows it. And there's just problems that come with it. And the problems that come with it are expectations for corporate earnings. And this data is actually really good. So through logical analysis, I'm thinking, okay, the virus is spreading. We have this map, right? Actually, I posted it on Trading Jam session. It's like a Polish traders community group, and they have a thread for the coronavirus. And there's quite a cool map. In fact, Larry posted it first, or he hinted at it. And this is just how I do it, you know. So I go in these groups, I just post there. Okay, ladies' day. All the best to the ladies. I don't see this coronavirus. Here it is. Let's see if you can find my post. Because this is all public information. If you spend enough time on doing this, you will just get the hang of it. Here we go. And this is exactly my point. We have 110,000 confirmed cases of the virus, out of which 3,800 died and 60,000 were recovered, so that they've been healed. So these are the statistics, you know. So the death rate is what, 7%, 5%. We have to go deeper into it. Obviously, most of these deaths are in China, but come on, it's 3,800 people. I mean, I'll leave it without the comment. I can make comparisons to people eaten by sharks or deaths on roads, but if you check the statistics, this is nothing. This is, in fact, the hype is so that it doesn't spread, but believe me, trust me on this one. If this is a real problem, Bill Gates is working overtime to get this sorted. He's an expert in vaccines. It's going to happen. One tweet, one Trump tweet that we have a vaccine is going to send markets to all-time highs. And we don't know this. This is just the reality of it. But I just want you to actually get the scale for it. What's happening, why it's happening, and how. So then I go back to my data, and okay, I've got some guy. Like I shouldn't be. I've got some private streams here, so it's I should protect them a little bit more. But okay, there might not be a recording, or I'll edit it. If something comes up here, you see that shouldn't be spread. Just respect my work and the privacy of it, because there's some big things that happen in the background. I trust you on this one. So then we go into raw data. We know that Aruba default. In fact, I'm actually quite curious of how these macroeconomic indicators, like the ease of doing business, are going to do in the virus environment, if they're going to be affected, because they should. Because this is not really, it is macro, but it takes into consideration multiple other elements. And as you see, we have a lot of data here. And this is what CRTRT should be used for. You all do your own analysis, your own logical analysis, but you use it in your own way. So the first thing I'm considering is, so, well, okay, we don't have anything from these shorts. It's a pity. We had perfect entries on those. Remember, doesn't matter. It's gone. What is of my interest on these sheets, and is, as you see, I'll get Ignaz to explain it in English. Obviously, we have multiple Polish interviews and manuals released for this, but this is the sheet that is of my interest, or of my primary interest. And this is institutional positioning. It takes data for S&P 500 from about 5,000 different sources, as you all know, but not everybody knows, so I will keep repeating it for a while. Because yes, we are becoming educators, and I don't want to educate by starting to educate, no. We show live results first. We show good money first, hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, doesn't matter. In the meantime, we show how we analyze and do it, and we do it all live. And only after that, we will structure it. We will create a forum and redevelop our websites, m1corp.com and btfd.tv. So it will all be available for us to read through and analyze, and you get the drill. So what do we see here? We have an average asset managers, long-term and mid-term portfolio, out of which the long-term is at the top and the mid-term is at the bottom. So what do we see here? They keep accumulating this market. We don't see any shorts here. In fact, on the mid-term, so the immediate term that is of our interest, we're getting to some really decent levels. So this means that big institutions are buying the financial dip. I mean, people are asking me what to do to turn the audio on. Am I not connected? Is the audio okay? We did the test. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
No problems, Temet. Really.
Yeah, I know. So man, just start your audio, man. It's Zoom. Like, just switch it on, maybe. But thank you, whoever said it. Thank you very much. So, um, well, we can see that in the mid, like obviously I can't zoom it in. I don't know why, but you know what I mean. Like, it's we can see that the long terms are still long, but the midterms are not just long, they're oversizing long or just accumulating more and more and more. And yes, there are exceptions to it from like 2019 when the market was going down and they were buying more, but that's fine. This is just one of the elements of what we're looking for, because this is the element that we need, because we need to be in line with them. This is the philosophy of our work. So we're not trading against the small speculators. No, because this doesn't work, and we know that. We go with the big ones. This is our job, to buy it before them or buy it better than them. And that's when the morphing scalps into swings and the whole scale and pyramiding, whatever you want, comes in. But we more or less need to know what they're doing. And this is the real power of COTRT. And this is how I'm thinking with it. But there is a danger. And the danger I noticed by going through data is that VIX is really, really high. The black line here is the volatility index. And the orange line is its average. I think it's like a monthly average or so. It doesn't matter. It just actually flags the problematic points. So going in line with Anton Creel and the whole Goldman Sachs philosophy, what you do in times of high volatility, you reduce your stock portfolios on the midterm and long term, and you focus more on the short-term trading, but you reduce your size. So this is what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna start really small. So we're not going to get over leveraged. We understand that the VIX is high, but the overall picture is good, the macro is good, and we'll start building these positions small, maybe add to them on the way, but not too aggressively, just so we can get up 15, 20, 30% up on our PAMs. So if I put, I don't know, 100,000 to it, I make 200 grand, or sorry, 20,000. Well, I'll have a base for the next swing or the next correction. So it's a new project that we have. So I'm very careful with it, since these new allocations are problematic, because if we get into a sudden drawdown of, let's say, 10, 20% initially, well, it's fine. I'm okay with it. I've seen worse. But an investor might not be fine with it, and they might not like to start from the drawdown. I hope you get the idea. So we'll try to protect from it. And for PAMs, I'd suggest to not stress too much. If you can't afford to just reduce the size, but leave the 25, 33% leeway that it can bounce. And we're targeting on these swings. I mean, the last one made 900%. So if you can double your deposit in a big swing like that, once a year. So we have 4 swings and we lose, let's say, 10, 20% overall, but one of them doubles the money or triples the money, but I can do much more. Well, then after a year, we are building some degree of trust, because, okay, we made money, we cashed out some, so what's next? And the most important thing is the process, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing this for, I don't know, I just realized 14 years now, being bankrupt, whatever, but we have that experience to know what to look for. So what I'm offering is not just the PAMs and the management and the education that you're getting, and for me it's just fun. But I'm thinking about the longer term relationship and ideally for birds to fly out of their nests, so people actually start showing results, bringing the best talent in. I'm already in talks with some of the best Polish traders to bring them into our structure. So I will also be able to choose and delegate. So when I'm retired in like 6 to 8 years, somebody else will be able to pass it. Plus, you'll get the knowledge, and pretty much you can see what we do, learn from it, make money on it. But all you really need to do is just take a popcorn and eat it and watch it real time. So this is really cool. I actually, it's like an ambition of mine. So I don't do it like, of course I do it for the money, but I wanted to do something with this money. So I just want to create an, let's say, alternative education system for kids. Doesn't matter. I do it for fun, for myself, but also for the people, as always. So this is the danger, the VIX. We know what the institutions are doing. What is the macro score? In fact, I haven't checked it yet this week in terms of the kind of the longer term stuff. I just checked the immediate data, and let's say it's good. I don't know if there's any updates, and I can do it now actually, because this is also a good reminder. Just so you learn how to use our stuff, because obviously it's done. It's not all in one place yet. I know the website's not fully ready. Like I post on Twitter, on Facebook, Telegram, and like if I was to follow this myself, like I just get lost. But we will reorganize everything so it's all on the website, because it needs to be easy. We will find a social media manager, somebody who will actually reorganize it. We have a lawyer, we have AI guys, technical guys, programmers. There is a method to this madness. And once this is all set up, we're going to go into direct competition with like Fibonacci Team School, Fractal Trader, IML. We're just going to blow them out of the water with proper stuff. So what do we have here? Okay, debt servicing is low. Fine. This is quite interesting. So this is the Nasdaq versus unemployment, right? Because the Nasdaq is low and unemployment is also going down. So it's actually of my huge interest of what's happening here. Unemployment is getting lower. The stock prices are getting lower as well. Virus is gonna pass. It's no danger. It's in fact, give me this virus, man. I'll take it. I'll build my immune system. Couldn't care less. So it's a good sign, actually. Will the US benefit from the problems of China production? I think so. I think Trump will highly welcome it. Whatever, like, if you can start producing stuff in the US instead of in China, yes, it's going to be a bit more expensive, but people are going to make more money, unemployment is going to be lower, and it's actually really good for US economy. So if this is like some type of biological warfare, I'm not saying it's done by purpose, but this is how the big money operates. They always utilize the crisis. So if this crisis can be utilized to benefit US economy, could be a point. I'm not saying it's like that, but just what I'm thinking. So let's dig a little further. What are the spreads? No problems. I can see that they're not updated as often, so we might need to wait. And the business conditions, I see, like I got to zoom in on some of those, they're actually really good. So the macro is for the US, I think they're winning. I think they're winning the whole thing. So I'm not telling you to buy Shanghai Composite or I don't know, the Australian index. We are focusing on the US economy, the big kahuna. And by the looks of it, the big picture is not that bad, I'm trying not to make it my subjective opinion, but I'll try to analyze it through a logical brain by using the right set of data. And this is why I love COTRT, because it does just a lot for us. Okay, so what do we need to actually press harder and get up in size? Because I know we want to start small. We got the spam infrastructure ready. I want the VIX to go down. I want the bulls to start climbing up the stairs. So obviously we've got the S&P. It actually bounced a little earlier, but what would need to happen for me to get more aggressive or more interested? Because obviously it's a downtrend. Obviously we could have, like, this is a no-brainer. Like, it's a weekly Kiju, and if you can't sell this, then I don't know what you're doing as a trader. I've been busy with this whole thing, and like, it's fine. Like, if you can't focus or if you're doing something else, just don't trade. But this is no rocket science, man. This is an easy trade. Like, it's, come on. And we've had our guys in our crew like Smart Samp and Maciek from the group that the other groups, because we have a lot of them. You have Poznań Rynek Trading Office, M1 Trading Office. Doesn't matter. It's similar crews. We're just friends. So these guys were shorting the hell out of this market, and these are like the easiest trades. So if you don't follow these groups, you might as well. And just respect my private messages. I just want to share. I just want to be honest and not care about it. So what do we do once we have the big picture ready? How do we trade it? How many times do you have to see it before you trade it? Just the same my friend had. Well, for me, it's a range. When I look at it, first of all, I see a bottom of the range and the top of the range. That's it, right away. If you do it Brazil 61 style, we mark one line on the close line, one mark at the extreme, and we are starting to have a system for range trading. Very simple on both sides, let's say. So we have the close line, we've got the extreme line, and we're watching these levels. So let the S&P get to it, see what happens. But what if it comes the ups and bounces? Do you want to trade it right away? If you know what you're doing, if you're an aggressive trader, you have an idea, for sure you can trade it. Like, it might get a small bounce, you take some risk off, take a half off. If it goes lower, you take a break even, it's fine. You didn't, and if it goes your way, you can either add to it, build it, or whatever. But if you're a momentum trader, you probably want to wait a little. So for momentum, obviously we don't use the 30 minutes and we don't use the 15 minute. There's just no advantage there. I checked it. There's just no point wasting your time. So we just switch them off. So that leaves us with the 5 minute, the 60 minute, 240, weekly, whatever. We know that there is a bottom of a range around that area. So if you haven't got the balls or haven't got the skill to buy it around here somehow and take a risk off, well, then you simply do that. Let's say that this is our level, but it's reversed, or this is our level here. Once it hits the bottom of the range, like here, you wait for the 5 minute momentum to change and you hunt it aggressively. Like pretty much like, and in fact, this is a fib. And this is like I troll Fibonacci team school because I like to, like I would short on the fib here, no problem, because I'm trading off the Kijun. And I'm showing you a good setup here because I spent so much time looking at it and I love this. So this is a fib, right? You're gonna get long here and you're gonna get crushed because you have a bigger picture in mind, the big things. And the first thing is the technical traders are gonna be absolutely smashed. And I love getting in against them. But my entries are here. So once the 50 is broken and the Kijun is more or less over here, I'm entering around here right into the fib. I don't care about this fib, literally. And this is one of my favorite setups. Some of the things I love to do, And then I troll Łukasz Fiołek with his things, but it's light entertainment. I love him and love everybody. So we will entertain a healthy competition with these types of service providers soon. So if something like that would happen off the bottom of a range on the S&P, that would mean for like, I can draw it for you if you want, you know, so it goes up, bam, bam, whatever. So we're becoming artists. So let's say that this 5-minute thing just keeps on going, goes like that, and suddenly momentum changes. And you do that, you try it. Well, guess what? You know, tops and bottoms and take time. So if you can get any upside momentum, take some off. Take something off there, move your stops, and play good defense. You know, yes, it will cost you risk reward, but then if it goes your way and you have a big plan in mind for a month-long trade, first of all, you're gonna have a good entry. Second of all, you can always add to it on the way. You can pyramid. You can pyramid like Schweizer, like bit by bit, or like myself, functionally. So on corrections, like whatever happens. But for this trend to be good, the 60-minute momentum and then the 240 momentum and higher need to change. It's just a halfway back move. Kijun is nothing else than the highest high versus the lowest low over the last 26 periods /2. So it's a halfway back. And the machine does it for you. So you don't have to know the fib from the 4 hour, from 1 hour, you just use it. So this is how you use it. And when then, let's say the 60-minute momentum changes, so let's say this whole thing goes like that, then it goes a bit flat, then it changes, tests. I mean, how much time have you got? It might not test. It might go right away. We don't know that. But what we do know for sure is that for this trend to be good, the 60-minute momentum needs to change. It's simple as that. It just has to go. There's no other way to cheat it. So this is not your buy level thing. No, this is not a system. This is logical analysis. So you use your brain. These tools are developed by us. So we know more or less where the halfway back line. So this is the equilibrium of which Grzegorz Moskwa was talking about. But we just made it our own. This is our own way of looking at it. And if it fails, but guess what? Like we lose the minimum. It's okay. It doesn't bother us. You know, if I'm right or I'm wrong. Like George Soros said, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's how much you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong. So I can be long this market all day long or all week long, and I might not lose any money because of the skill. And this is what I'm trying to teach you here and show what I'm planning, what I'm going to do, and then when it's happening, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to lose the minimum when things are not going our way or we're wrong or something happens, or I'll try to lose the minimum and maximize it and hold it as planned according to the little bites, statistics, Larry, all these things. Do you get me? Do you get the logic of what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to achieve? I hope so. Okay. We have other groups. For example, we are actually chipping and no, sorry, I just can't. It's just, give me a second. I just want to get into a Larry Williams 2020 research group that we have. We just chip in. We just have a group where we utilize Larry Williams' work. And I wanted to show you his video anyway. Yes, 2020 Larry Williams research. I can send you this if you want. I believe you have it on our mainstream here for the conference, right? I sent you that with the password, yeah, btfd.tv or btfd.tv by the financial dip. Does it work? btfd.tv. Yeah. And I don't really care about anything else but the S&P. So I'm literally like that. Just like give me S&P. I follow Larry for years, and he's good. He has good and bad hits, but he's the best for. He is the best for S&P 500, I think. I mean, that's his forte. So this is Dow. Okay, indices in general. And I'm not gonna keep you up too late, you know. So I'm gonna wrap it up relatively quickly. This is going to be a series. So when you bought your tickets for the conference and you thought you're just gonna go in there and get the materials and we're gonna leave you, well, guess what? The rabbit's hole is deeper than you think. So this is going to go on, and it was just the start. And in fact, yeah, I posted it on the main group, you know, because this one is a bit more open than last one. When I went on a little bit of a rant, but this is primarily for our people. Anyway, like how many people have we got in this room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, let's say 15, 20 people, right? That's it. That we don't want anymore. It is our crew, you know. It's people that follow us and like, and I don't care. I don't need to over promote. I promoted the conference with 2 posts. Yes, I lost $2,000 on it. Doesn't matter. I paid everybody by the looks of it. Not everybody. Jarek, I think. Well, just Jared. He needs his money, but I kept my promises. I even slept at the conference because we didn't have the invoice paid a day after the conference, but doesn't matter because we don't care. We make our money in a slightly different way, which is by trading on financial markets. But my crew says that I shouldn't be doing this because I'm losing money on everything. Traders' houses like pretty much funding the whole thing, and apparently our knowledge is good, so we should be making quite a lot of money on it. And I'm just stupid for not caring. But we'll figure it out. No worries. These are the coronavirus deaths versus whatever, and this is just what Larry is showing us here. So this is a stock market forecast based on the federal funds rate. So it's pretty much an expectation for Fed to reduce rates further or increase quantitative easing further. And I think that's what's going to happen, and they're going to do it more and more. So the 50 basis points is just a feeler bet. They just wanted to see how big of an effect it is going to have on the market. And then when Trump presses them, just buy the dip. But we'll see. Remember that we have that date that's around the 17th of March, right? 9th, 16th, 17th, you know, so we should be starting to see some strength this week. And the 17th of March is actually Tuesday next week. So let's see how this market behaves. If it can show us some strength around the end of this week or next week, if we have some positions already which are small, then the VIX, remember, should start coming down. We should start institutions still long or not reducing but adding whatever, and the whole thing will start coming together. And once the planets are in line, then we press. Then I take the risk and then I accept the drawdowns. Okay, so I open up, I go mode. We're gonna do a live trading webinar office, and we'll see if we can print some really serious results, because this is not 9 to 5. In this business, you can make crazy money in a short period of time if you know what you're doing. In fact, if we have these shorts, and in the last my webinar and the conference, we called these shorts to the T, 22nd of February, 21st of January, almost to the letter. But I was just not focused on them. I had it just, if I didn't do all that and I just traded, I'd be up much more money. And I'm pretty sure that you can see it by now. So this also shows that I don't do it just for the money. I do it for our people in a way. And I always have been. And let's put it in a way that philosophically, I don't put my own interests first, which is rare in this world by the looks of it. Because when I watch people in general, most of them, all they care about is their own ass. It's what's in it for me. How can I get you for one's water, one PLN or 10? How can I actually be ahead on that? So I have a different philosophy. Yes, for sure I care about myself and my well-being and my family's well-being, but I have a bigger picture in mind. So I'm after a $1 billion hedge fund. So nobody's gonna give me $1 billion until I'm 40, but I believe I can continue this way. I can make a real change in this world. And this is my ambition. Obviously, you've got consumer data. I'm not sure when that's gonna be updated, but it still seems to be healthy. So like this is not just my talk, you know. By the looks of it, the market's healthy. I don't believe in the virus and the rest of it. But I heard today, Kuba Mościcki from Trading Gem Session posted something that one of the countries are going broke, so they won't be able to pay their debt, and this is dangerous. Do you remember which country that was? I'm not sure if I'll be able to find this post. No, I can't be showing Facebooks and all that because of. I'll check it and we post it tomorrow. So if there's some good action, maybe intraday, and this whole pump structure is going to be set, we're going to pretty much set everything up. I'll let you know. And these webinars are not just going to be just once a week. These are going to be spontaneous. I'll be posting on groups. All right, let's go live. Let's trade the US session. And you're going to see the FX harvest. Imagine if we can use the FX harvest and like pyramiding and like the scalping skill to hunt and execute a big swing like that. What kind of money this can make if you can hold it. You're not closing at the end of the day. You're not closing at the end of the week. You're closing after a month. And if you catch a one big run and you just keep every day, any longs, you keep half off or a quarter off, but you keep them holding. This is what makes the biggest money in financial market trading. And this is what I see, and this is what I want to do with my money and other people's money. So this is why I spent so much time on building the PAM infrastructure and getting a deal with Centrum. If you want to help, just trade with them. Open an account, they will be happy. Get Polish clients, they'll pay for our conference. They're cool. They just want to do business. And I'm inside in the way you see, I'm actually here. So it's safe, money is safe. If you want to help, that's the thing. I was going to show you Eye of Chorus today. It's kind of software developed by a friend of mine, but I'll do it on the next one. We didn't touch currencies much. We can, but I know it's late and we all have families and things to do. So I'm happy with what I've shown today. But if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. Open to your questions. Lebanon, yeah. Yeah, we got to check it. See, I'm going to check exactly how much the figures are. I'm going to check how much do they owe versus what Lehman Brothers and the other bank owed in 2008. And we're just going to do full research, to check the scale for it, because it could be big, it might not be big. We got to check the amount of derivatives on it. But I love this stuff, this is just pure research. Well, guys, looks like there are no questions, and this was supposed to be a freestyle webinar, and I just do it for you, remember. So if there's no more questions, you know what's coming. M1, I'm done. And I do approve this message. So take care and see you around. Oh yeah, all the best to the girls, and don't let the market get you. Ciao.